Okay. Well, hello. Hello, hello. Happy Monday morning to anybody watching this on the Monday morning that it is currently. Uh, yeah. I took a trip to Mary's Peak here in Oregon yesterday, and I figured I would just record a video of it. And I was like, why don't I just go live on YouTube? You know, there's no particular reason not to be live in case anybody happened to want to watch me edit pictures for some reason. So that's why we're doing it on YouTube instead of Twitch, because it's kind of like a oddball thing. But that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing some editing of a couple pictures I took, and then we're going to be doing the editing of the time lapse. So if you ever want to see how you make a really good time lapse, if it comes out good, I guess we'll find out as time goes on. We're going to be doing that here today. I may or may not have fallen down the mountain. Yeah, I don't know why I'm leaning like this. It hurts, but I took like a good hit. I had my camera in my hand like this, and I'm bounding down the mountain, and I'm trash talking about how it's like fine as long as you. I don't even remember what I was saying, but anyway, in the middle of me saying all this, I just ate crap, and it was probably one of the more comical things that anybody has seen. So in a way, I'm glad it wasn't filmed, but it would have been really good on film. I wish, in a small sense of small way, I wish it'd been recorded. So I think I'm gonna edit the pictures first. I've been sitting here, like, I haven't even looked at them yet, other than this far. Token squirrel. Oh my. Hello. Hello. We got, I wish there were some pictures of it. I really do. Or something. Like, it was too perfect the way I ate crab. So these are all the pictures I took yesterday. And we were up at like 40. Now, I think at this point where I was at here, we were at like 3,700 feet or something like that. So the whole valley, if you look across here, that's the other side of the Willamette Valley. And this is where like everybody in Oregon lives, between this wall of mountains and this wall. Of course, it like stretches for 300 miles end to end. But yeah, it's like a big strip, and it's not often, because like normally when you're in the valley, you live in the valley, everything's flat around you. You live down in here, you know? Like my town's somewhere out over this way, I think. Somewhere out there. But yeah, it was weird, coming up there, especially at night. Am I healed? I mean, I just had a few scratches. It was just yesterday. I don't heal overnight. I'm not a lizard person. Okay, you know my thoughts on lizard people. And so I don't think any of these pictures are going to be particularly great. Just looking at the thumbnails, none of them really seemed that great to me. But sometimes you just don't know until you start editing them. And maybe playing around with like, I don't know, a filter of some kind. Just looking through my options here. See, I hate the golden color. It's like sunset, warm shadows. I think the warm contrast actually looks kind of good on there. Or vintage. I think vintage often goes very well with landscape photos. Yeah, this was yesterday, man. This was literally yesterday. There's a diamond. Well, a lot of times, honestly, unoriginal. A lot of times I'll abandon these pictures as trash and then come back to them a long time later. Like, where's that flower picture I was working on last time? I don't know where all my stuff is. I have so many things that I've imported. I don't organize very well. I really need to get better organization, because I'm like, oh yeah, a folder for 2020 that's got stuff in it. Pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures. Beach trip. Yeah, anyway. Where was the stuff I was just working on? Oh no. Singles? Yeah, it was these. Okay. It was basically the same shot. I was hoping to, I don't know, I just really thought these trees would frame this picture better, but not the way I did it, apparently. I'm just not really liking the look. Maybe something like this. If we raise the whites on this, like really make that pop and then lower the highlights just a touch. And then we'll wreck it with something, you know, like do my adjustments and then cover them all up with something that looks better. I don't know. I wouldn't put any of these on a wall. Look, a tree in the wilderness. How fancy of me. And they're all crooked. Oh my God. Let's at least straighten that out. Get the horizon right. I think that's about right. Holy crap, that is like really off kilter. That was a really crooked picture. But actually, I think the reason I did that was because the tree was growing at an angle. So I was more focused on the tree. So this is a good way to learn from photography, because I go out and I do stuff like this, and that's a perfect example of how I screwed up a shot that might have been better. I was so focused on the subject of what I was trying to get. I want to get like the sun in the background and the tree and all that stuff, that I totally lost track of where I was in relation to the hill and everything else. So I didn't frame it very well. But like crank up that contrast. Actually, there might be something in this one. It might be. I feel like this one might actually have something to it. Maybe if we go like that, do the warm contrast, and then I've also learned to like go with your gut on a lot of this stuff. Something almost like that. And then drop just a bit of a vignette. And now that looks nasty. It makes this, dude, look at the sky. Doesn't that look just disgusting to you? It's disgusting. Nientes, how you doing, man? Rex, welcome in. Ye old Christmas tree. You just snap and post? Yeah, I do a little bit of work. I can bring up the shadows here too. This is why I shoot in RAW also. That really makes that grass pop. And then if I bump the clarity down, I don't want to overdo it here. Just a little bit. Bring the texture up, make it a little crunchy. We're getting rid of that vignette though. That disgusting vignette. Drop the highlights. I don't like the color of the sky. It's... I'm gonna give it like a super cold color. I don't know. Let's try a different filter. Ooh, that actually is kind of warm and moody. That's literally the name of it. And warm and moody describes that pretty well. Do you really want a warm and moody picture with snow in it? It's hitting now. What'd you do? Oh, it's like 3 FPS? Well, I'm not dropping any frames over here. You might have to lower the quality though. Remote learning is best. Who are all you people? The people I don't know, because I obviously know some of you. How's school, Nientes? I might, let's give this like a 2-star rating, so we can at least look at some of these later. I think that one might make something. This one, I thought maybe I could crop in on this. I don't know if that's going to be possible. The first one was actually the most level. Let's see if I can maybe grab this about like that. And then can we desaturate the shit out of this? Aged photo actually has kind of a nice look to it. I like that. It almost looks like fog in the sky. And if we decontrast it a lot, and then we're going to drop the exposure, and then we're going to, ooh, what else are we going to do? What else are we going to do? I want the shadows. No, I actually kind of want to bring a little bit of texture into this. I don't know what I'm doing with this one. Who's shattered? Who is shattered? I'm going to guess Void is shattered. You're Scoopy. Okay. It's legit. 1 FPS. Let me check on YouTube. I don't do YouTube streams very often, so what's it telling me? You're not receiving enough video to maintain... Viewers will experience buffering. What? Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming? Receiving data for the stream. Current bitrate's 25301. Let me do a speed test. Anybody can even hear me. Dude, my internet's been dropping so much lately, and it's been a huge headache for me. That means the video is probably going to be trash, too. I'm sorry if this is... I don't know why. Audio is normal? Oh, okay. Brandon Hernandez. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Master Gamer. What up, dude? I'm probably definitely choking out my internet now that I'm doing a speed test, though. Yeah, I have 134 down and 134 up. There's... Okay, let's try this. Let's see if this worked. Are we back? Hello, hello? Check one, mic check, check. One. Test. Require a lot from the streamer. Dude, the weird part is, last time I tried to stream on YouTube, I could do it at like 50 megabytes a second. We're back. Well, I did maximum of 1080p. I think maybe my computer just wasn't handling something. I don't know. But we're able to pretty consistently hold what we got to hold now. Current resolution is 1920 by 1080, which is not optimal. What do you mean that's not optimal? What is that not optimal for? Dude, YouTube? All right, we'll get it someday. I'm a brand new streamer. Hi, guys. This is my first stream ever. Brand new to streaming. So this is where we're at right now in life. Is where we find ourselves at this juncture. Caitlin, how are you? Oh, it's still 1440 for you? Maybe it's because I changed the resolution, but it's looking good. Okay. Well, if it's smooth, that's all that really matters. So, let's see. Let's see if any of these other ones are good. She refused to frickin' turn and walk away from me. I thought that was going to be a good picture. But we got... Alright, that's crooked. That's like a weird snowbank ankle. That's the tree line. Hit it with something like that. Bump up that exposure. We're going to raise the shadows, I think. A bit. It's a little blue. It's a little blue. Let's warm that up. Bring some life into that snow, you know? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's good or not. I don't feel like there's a picture here. Don't show my photo. Let's flag it anyway. I edited it. I need to get a system down for this. For going through these, because what I often end up doing is I edit a bunch of them and then I just forget and never like what's the word I'm looking for, export them. Trying to think, like publish isn't really the word I'm looking for. This was actually kind of interesting spot. See, there wasn't like a whole lot of photogenic stuff up there. It was very flat, as you can see. There wasn't a whole lot to work with here for like cool picture subjects. Like, I guess I could have gotten like a close-up of the grass tufts and sort of maybe done something with that, but really what I was trying to get was the whole scene, you know? And maybe this one, if we edit the, or if we crop this one, let's do it like in a 16 by 9, something about like that. Aged photo. What if we did this like an Instagram photo and we just did it about like this? One lone tree overlooking the world. I think that might work. But I don't know about this color. That warm and moody is so nice. This must be a new filter. I don't remember this being in here last time I edited a photo. Ooh, we might even do this one in black and white, actually. Now I think about it. That sky is so bland, though. Let's do this. Let's get fancy here for just a second. Let's try something. We're gonna edit this in Photoshop. Oh, good. I'm freezing. Oh, that's good. I'm very choppy. I can see myself being very choppy. Why would you be very choppy? Oh, because Photoshop takes up literally all the resources on a computer. That's good. Cowboy, how are you doing, man? If you can hear me. If you can even hear me. There's no way I'm capping my CPU. Like, I have got a 32 core monster. Where's my gosh darn core temp? Oh yeah, be weird. You're not even being used hardly. Okay, we're gonna go, what is it? Edit? Nah. See if I can find it. Layer? Nah, I think it's an edit. Sky replacement. Let's go ahead and swap in a sky behind this. Oh yeah, it looks real. That's real right there. A rainbow? That's weird. It's not blending right down here. We'll have to figure that out. You can hear me? You're happy I'm streaming on YouTube. Well, it's good to see you in here, man. Yeah, it was kind of a weird stream, and I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to do this on Twitch, because, you know, like, I don't think most people who watch me play Rocket League really care much about this sort of thing. Oh, that's dramatic. That is really dramatic. I wonder if I can get this. You're the Photoshop expert. I don't know how to fix this down here where it's like destroying the skyline. Like, I don't know how to fix the masking. Maybe it's fade edge. All right, shift edge. About like that. The color's not right. Let's warm it up. Oh, it looks like it's on fire. Let's make it yellow. I don't even know if I'm going to do this. I'm just playing around with stuff right now. That's weird. Ripstream, is it back yet? Does the streaming fully get behind? And see, this looks kind of like the sky does anyway. Oh, man. I think the problem I'm having right now is I put a filter on this foreground and none of the colors are really going to match with that filter. I need to... We're going to cancel this. And we're going to go back. And we're going to go back to the normal look. I really almost think I'd like this better in black and white. I like how the sun, yeah, the sun really pops when you do it in black and white. And then if I if I lower the texture down, it'll soften up the edges on the tree a little bit because it's a little too crunchy. And that'll bring that in. What will a basic vignette do? Something about like that. I like the smooth gradient on this. I feel like it's got a good gradient to it. And it really draws you in, but that texture, it's too fuzzy on the horizon. Does it create a new layer? It does. It creates several new layers actually. So actually I think here, let's like take this one. You can go ahead and edit that in Photoshop. Oh, we're going to crash the stream again. Sorry. This is happening though. Yeah. Choppy chop chop. I should have left Photoshop open. Don't know why I closed it. Go me. Why am I dropping to like 3,000 bitrate, man? It's gotta be because I'm launching Photoshop. It's gotta be. Okay, next time I'll know not to open these up while I'm streaming. I'll get them open beforehand. Is my cursor gone? Where's my mouse cursor? Oh, we're done. We're done for. This computer. Oh, it's toast. It's over. It is over. It is over for us. As everything crashes and falls apart. You've never used light filter? Oh, Lightroom. Dude, I am very unfamiliar with Photoshop. I mostly just use Lightroom. It does pretty much everything you would want. Yeah, so when you drop in a sky replacement, this is a better scene for something like this, I think. Something you can... Oh, that's like so intensely different. What we got over here? Let me find one that seems decent enough. Personal. Oh, blue sky. I got blue skies minimized here. That's what I was missing. Oh, that's like intensely blue. Now, that's more like a normal Oregon sky right there. Or that. Anyway, I don't know why I'm obsessing so much about this, because I'm probably not going to use this picture. So let's just go with this one. This really insane one. Cool. Yeah, when you drop it in, it creates the foreground lighting, whatever this is that's linked to it, foreground color and sky. Like a duplicate layer. So a mask layer, I guess. Creates a mask layer of the sky automatically and then cuts that out. So yeah. You know, honestly, the only problem I have with this is it looks like the sky is coming from that direction, which is just weird. Like it wouldn't be, you know? It's good now. We're back. Yeah, we're back to smooth. I'm not closing Photoshop this time. I will leave it open this time. Let's go ahead and let's give this one a 3-star. Once it smooths out. There we go. See, it's pictures like this I'll usually use on Instagram. The square ones. Let's see if any of these came out. I was hoping one of these might be good. One of these was like F20. Yeah, these are all like F20, aren't they? Yeah, we're above the clouds. I know, it was cool. It's a little on the warm side. I don't know. The colors seem very off to me. The whites aren't white. And you would think a little white balancing might fix that, but it doesn't seem to want to be right. Maybe like that. But then this just looks hideous. I mean, lift those shadows up and really brighten that, and then maybe crunch the contrast a little. And then maybe like, I don't know, maybe oh, let's lock this. Original. No. And it's not right in the corner. What if we made it right in the corner of the picture? Something about like that. Yeah, it still just looks like a generic ass picture though, you know? There's nothing fancy about it. You gotta run? All right, hey man, thanks so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. It was good to catch you. I know it's kind of a weird stream, but hey, I appreciate it, sincerely. I think I lost everybody else with all these disconnects, so. More of these streams? Yeah, so I mean, the main thing today was doing the time lapse. So I'm going to be doing that at some point here. I just want to, let's actually do this. I feel like when you're taking pictures of horizons like this, you want to really get the horizon, you know? Like that should be the focus. So something maybe about like that. But it's still just kind of a picture of nothing, you know? It's just a sky. It's like, wow, cool sky. Need a foreground element. Oh, isn't this fancy? Crank that exposure. Chunk the contrast a little bit. I kind of like the texture on the snow here in the foreground. Especially that, where you can really see the crystals on the snow, but the color is really weird. So let's maybe... That's screwing up the sky. You see, it starts to band when you start... I don't really... Why am I choppy right now? There's no reason to be choppy right now. Photoshop, what are you doing? OBS is using 66% of my CPU. Hot damn. Hot diggity damn. OBS, why are you using so much of my CPU or my GPU? You're trying to kill my computer. Weird. All right. Well, maybe this just isn't going to work. But I think we'll keep going. I was trying to get a picture of her. It's very underexposed. It's got to be like brightened up. Get the colors going. Hoop, how you doing today, man? It's good to see ya. What was that? I honestly kind of like this. She was writing a very vulgar message in the snow at me right then. You like it? I kind of like it. Nah, not centered though. And not that high in the frame. We need you like this. Something about like that. Just to give it a little bit of edge. And then... What? Oh, YouTube did. Well, I'm glad I'm recommended. Hello, Cosmic. How you doing today, man? I know OBS is just killing me right now. It is killing me. I'm sorry. I keep having frame issues. I'm sorry. They're intermittent. If you start experiencing buffering, it usually only lasts, 25 seconds or so every minute. So, if you come across any of that, just write it out. I appreciate you being here. Oh, you liked the snow. You liked the snow. Well, I kind of like the picture. I think it's got like a certain something to it. I'm gonna come back to this one. I'm gonna give it another star. That's really most of what I got. A lot of these I just don't think are gonna be anything. They're really not all that. Oh, these were just pictures I took because you could see the Pacific Ocean from the top of the mountain. This out here, I'm fairly certain everything from like this line up is the ocean. So it was weird to be able to see both the ocean and the valley from like a mountaintop in between. I don't know. It was kind of cool, at least in person. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty heckin' well. Having a good Monday. Let's cut that about like that. Pretty good Monday. Is that blurry? I think that's blurry. Yeah, it's blurry. Oh, I was just doing something different today. So I figured I would just stream it. I was going to record it, like, and chop it up and be like, this is a picture I took and this is how I did it and stuff like that. But I figured I'd go live because I haven't seen any of y'all in like a week. So, yeah, I wanted to go live and say hi to people who came by. If anybody came by. You've only seen me stream Rocket. Really? You've only, see, I need to get back to my old self, man. Because Rocket League, I mostly do Rocket League nowadays. But I used to do variety. You know, I'm looking forward to doing Cyberpunk 2077. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Got like a weird distortion effect to it. But yeah, I have a podcast coming up too. So make sure to stay tuned here on YouTube because I'm going to be doing a podcast with the guy Ed, I can't remember his last name. I should probably know that, but yeah, we're gonna be scheduling that here pretty soon. I sent him the scheduling information and stuff like that, so I should hear back from him pretty soon. He said he was interested, but yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So trying to do more other things, you know, like mostly during the day, like when I'm not streaming at night. When I do stream at night, I do a lot of stuff with photography. Like I've been really working on getting better at this sort of thing. And it really seems that, some things are starting to come along. I like black and white though, man. I really do like black and white. I like that picture. So I have like 3 good pictures out of these 50 or so. So there's 3. Is this one out of focus? It's a little soft. Tree's soft. Why you so soft, tree? And it's really just kind of a boring picture. Just kind of a boring picture. Yeah. So, I mean, this is what my photography life is like. I don't know if it's like this for other people who do photography, but maybe I just don't have the eye for it yet. But this is why we're going out and practicing these things so I can get better. Because it's like Rocket League, you know? You train and you get better. You practice. And so I'm going out and I'm trying stuff in different places and working on my mechanics, you know? I don't think I'm going to need Photoshop again, so I'm going to risk it and I'm going to close Photoshop. It's going away. Photoshop is done. Clouds up. Oh, Shin. Hey, what's up, man? Okay, sir. How you doing? You're a flake on just about every game. That's mostly true. Like it's my mistress. Yeah, I know. Well, you know, I like Rocket League. I really do. And it's easy. It's easy to just go back and fall back on your main thing. It's scary to switch it up. It's scary to go to something else, you know? And that's, you know, it's one of the reasons I'm doing this on YouTube. Because I feel like, especially with stuff like this, I want to do more photography related stuff, you know, and I did like the astro photography vlog thing. I want to do more photography based stuff here on YouTube. And I don't think there's necessarily as many people who want to see that on Twitch. So I obviously want to do stuff over on Twitch too. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I feel like there's different content for different platforms, you know? Like it works out better to keep things separated. In a way, I guess. I don't know. I'm like, who actually knows the answer to any of this stuff? Please upgrade as soon as, but I don't think I need that right this second. So this is a cool program. This is how we're going to do the time lapse here today. You just play Destiny 2? I gotcha. Yeah, I still like Rocket League, but it's very frustrating not getting better. You know, it's one of those games where I've worked so long at it to try to improve, and I'm still the same rank I was 2 years ago, pretty much. It's kind of getting frustrating, you know? Like, I'm not improving any faster than everybody else is, so I'm only getting better at the same rate everybody else is, and as a result, I stay the same rank. So, watching some girl melt beads in the shape of anime? What do you even... Well... Yeah. If you do it right, I guess people watch just about anything. That's true. Okay, where did I put this? This was in fall 2020, I'm pretty sure. Mary's Peak. That's what I need to do. I need to break this up, because if I just click on the time lapse thing here, it's going to be like, sorry, it only allows sequences up to 400 images. Unless you pay $150. So since I haven't spent $150 on this program, although it is a fantastic program, I got to do this the hard way. So I've got to go in here and go into the time lapse folder, and oh my God, these raw files take forever to load. They're all 25 megabytes. They're all like 24 megabytes roughly. So there's like 56 gigs of pictures, and I did this in the Holy Grail method, kind of, so that you can do incremental exposure increases throughout the course of the time lapse and hopefully come up with a better time lapse. So it's going to be a 3-parter. So this is going to be part 1. And this is, dude, this stuff takes forever. Hopefully I'm a little bit faster about it now. Part 2. And part 3. There we go. Okay. And this is going to be in sequences of 400 images. So how many is this? 200, 349, 437, 421, 405, 400. So we're going to take the first 400 pictures, slap those in part 1. And then the second 400, which will be something about like this. Oh, it was pretty close. 405, 400. Part 2. And grab the rest of them. Part 3. Okay. Right, and RLRS doesn't even exist anymore. Now, like at this point, it's RLCS or nothing, you know? You prefer FPS games? Interesting. See, I always thought that was like your secondary. I always assume Rocket League's everybody's like go-to, and then FPSs are secondary. But it does seem that I might be mistaken on exactly how that works. That perhaps more people look at it the other way around. Yes, I believe so. I mean, it seems like a lot of people, like, I think Pokey plays CSGO, like a lot of people, man. A lot of people play CSGO, actually. Okay. Let's switch this up. Are you going to refresh and show me the new folders? You're not. Wait, there's a refresh button. Okay. Does this... what do you refresh? Okay, let's just reopen it. Let's be lazy. LR Timelapse. Yeah, and that is a cool thing. Yeah, and yeah, it's open to everybody now, so you can just do it. Okay, part 1. Here we go. We're going to import part 1, and we're going to let this begin. Let it begin. I look really blue. Ever since the sun... See, I adjusted all the colors because the sun was blasting through this window, and now that the sun went away, everything in here is like dark and blue. So, sorry if my imagery here on screen is depressing for anybody out there. I don't intend to depress people. It's not my goal in life. I have other goals. So I did a lot of exposure adjusting, as you can see by this graph. You can see it building out this blue line right now. And what that basically is different levels of exposure that came through this. That sharp spike tells me that was probably the headlights from a car pulling in. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if I can find that frame and delete that frame now. Because these big sharp drops are when I personally adjusted the exposure. And you can see I did it in huge chunks. I really shouldn't have done it in big chunks. I should do it in little chunks like this. And this is what I was talking about, Caitlin. When I was going out there and checking on the camera over and over and over again, it's much easier to flatten these out than it is to flatten these out. So... yeah, but let me see if I can find that frame. That does not look very far in there. Like, yeah, there's just like one random bright ass picture in the middle right there. Just boom. So let's see. I think that'll be okay. You know what? We'll do it with everything in there, and if I have to change it, I'll do it again. But you can already kind of see how this is going to start to come together. You can see the fog moving through on the time lapse, and this is just going to be part 1 of 3 on this sunrise. So let's go to the next step. We're going to go keyframe wizard. We're going to put in... oh god, it's recommending like 8 keyframes for this. 7 or 8 keyframes. So... equalizes the steps and brightness that were introduced in shooting the Holy Grail method. I'm not sure what that does. I'm not entirely sure what this does. So I think I'm going to leave that alone. No. No. We're going to save it. Oh, well, maybe there's no leaving it alone at this point. Maybe it's already too late. Then you can drag this in over here. Actually, let me go to the right tab. You got to go to Lightroom, Import tab, and drop. Okay. As an accident? Oh, he got you into Rocket. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from on that. I really do. Rocket League doesn't have a lot of, like, transferable skills to other games. Right? People just had to park there. Had to. So now it imports all 400 of the initial pictures. This is how we do it. So this is why it's time consuming. So I take all the pictures that we took for the whole time lapse, which is something like 1,150 pictures that we took for the whole length of the time lapse from before sunrise to after sunrise. And we're going to take those and we're going to equalize the exposure transition across all of them. So what we did just now was we imported into LR Timelapse, which automatically created keyframe images. And LR Timelapse is linked in to Lightroom. So now I'm going to hit keyframes, which is going to bring up the 8 keyframes that we made over here. Remember we picked the keyframe wizard thing? Yeah, it creates those 8 keyframes, and then we're going to edit each one of these images to look how we want it to. And then what LR Timelapse is going to do is it's going to go through each of those keyframes and basically smooth the transition between each and every single one. And then eventually we're going to stitch all those together and we're going to throw it into Adobe Premiere and we're going to make a time lapse. So starting on the first one here, I think I'm going to raise the exposure. Nah. Let's change the contrast. Whoops. We wanted to start out kind of dark, and I think it's kind of yellow, so we're going to drop the color, the blue color down. I'm going to raise the exposure right now so I can check the white balance and make sure it looks good. You can see it's kind of grainy, but yeah, let's give it like a dark blue color because we want like a good morning feel to it. So as it fades from like darkness to light, you're going to see that nice transition. So starting from there, you really can't see much. Let's raise the shadows so we can see a little bit of the foreground. And that'll keep the transition smoother as we go to daytime, so it doesn't have to make as hard of a jump on the exposure chain, which will keep it looking good. Highlights, we're gonna leave highlights alone. Whites, let's raise the exposure again. I wanna check the whites. You can see it's like super, well, you probably actually can't see, but it is super grainy and blown out. Yeah, those really don't need much. And yeah, maybe just a bit more violet in it. What did it start at? 15? And if I change it to like 20, I think that's the look. This is much harder to do with this many keyframes. I think I should go with fewer keyframes, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because doing this many keyframes, I basically have to manually adjust the exposure between all these points, and that's going to be problematic. So let's how do we fix this? We're going to start over. We're going to start completely over on this. So in order to do that, we are going to go to part 1 and we're going to delete that folder. Remove from Lightroom. Oh my. And now we're going to go change this to sort by type. And we're going to go delete all these XMP files. So there's no record of any of the changes we've made thus far. Can you see the ice scraper? I actually didn't look. I should have looked. There was an ice scraper on the ground, just like trash right in front of us. We're going to delete all that XMP data. There's just an ice scraper laying on the ground in front of my shot that I didn't see. It was pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and delete this too. Just no evidence of anything in relation to LR Timelapse. And we should be good now. Should be good now. Okay. Starting over. Lightroom Classic. Hello. What are we looking at here? Part 1. I want to remove. No, not rename. Remove. Still remain on the disk. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Starting over. This is part of the length of time that this takes, is me screwing it up and then starting over again and again and again and again and again and again. But, you know, each time a little bit faster, you know, each time we do it a little bit faster. We're going to try this with 3 keyframes this time. And I'm going to see if I can get away with doing this with 3 keyframes. If I got to do it again, then we got to do it again. But I want to try to do it the easy way first. So Let it build its little profile. What happened to the music? Yeah, continue watching. Don't ever not. Yeah, somewhere up here in the front of the frame is an ice scraper laying on the ground, though. And I honestly don't know if it's going to be visible. I don't honestly know if it's going to be visible in the shot, but, yeah, you know, there might just be some trash laying on the ground right in front of us. Let me maybe go, like, disable preview. Open JDK platform console. Oh, okay. 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 Do a keyframe wizard. Let's do 3 keyframes. 1, 2, 3. 3 keyframes. We'll save it. It's going to save all those XMP files. And now we're going to drag it to Lightroom. The lazy man's method. Import these. Part 1. Mary's Peak Timelapse. There we go. Okay. Import. Again. And then turn on the keyframes. And it'll hide the rest of them. As it's done importing, still importing. 'Twas the most majestic of ice scrapers. Great lord amongst all the peasants. Going choppy again? Yeah, dude, it like OBS is eating my resources in ways I've never seen it do, and I have no idea why. I have no idea why. Like, it's not even streaming at like normal stream rates. And it's eating up 81% of my GPU, and I don't understand why. What is it? OBS browser page is using... Wait, what is using the most? Just the program itself is using... Browser pages are using a little bit, but like... Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Imagine not using slobs. You know, I'm happy to say I don't. Okay. So... do we want to give it... You know what? No, we're not going to do a filter on it here because we'll do that after we turn it into a video. So for now, we're just going to get the exposure and stuff adjusted. So picture number 1, obviously we want it pretty dark. So we're going to bring it down about like that. We're going to raise up those shadows so you can actually see a little bit of detail in there. Highlights. We gotta fix that white balance again. So blue. I mean, the sky is gonna be kind of blue just before sunrise, but this is like so blue. So blue. And I realize I just cranked up the blue colors too, so that might have something to do with it. But we were at 15. Let's go ahead and change this back to 20 like we did last time. And I would really like it darker. But I guess we also want people to be able to see it. Because we can always add like a fade in transition on the beginning to sort of ease this into where it's supposed to be. So that's about the brightness when we got there. Let's go ahead and go about like that. Okay. Keyframe number 2. This is where it's going to get kind of confusing for me because some of the exposure is going to be different. And I don't want it to get darker anywhere. God, I made this really hard on myself doing this way. So I almost want to keep the foreground the same level of exposure, but this seems almost like it gets darker. No, it definitely gets lighter. It definitely gets lighter. Why is the fucking angle different though? Hold on. Did I bump the camera? I think I bumped the camera. Oh, the sun's back. Oh, hello, sun. OBS seems to hate YouTube, yeah. Well, that's going to kind of wreck this. Dude, honestly, this looks awesome to me. Colors-wise. I don't like the, it looks like my lens corrections aren't being applied. So we're going to enable profile corrections across the board here so that we can flatten those edges out. And number 1, you really need to be darker. And this still needs to be darker. And this can begin to be getting lighter like this, but we'll still keep it fairly dark. About like that. And just to be on the safe side here, I'm going to go to the... I wonder what, honestly, a lot of this depends on what effects Lightroom or LR Timelapse applies when it does this. I think it does all the color balancing. I think it does everything, but my question is, I don't want only 3 keyframes to be profile corrected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off filters and I'm going to say select all. And I'm going to go to settings, sync settings, uncheck all of them, and then sync the lens corrections across the board. So now the lens correction should be applied to literally all of the pictures, so I don't have to worry about that. Even if the keyframes are the only thing that it's picking up. And if it applies the lens correction twice, then whatever. It almost seems like the light fades from the left to the right. Like, it's weird on the second keyframe here, the left gets darker. So I want to kind of brighten that up a little bit. We're going to raise the shadows just slightly there. And so now let's see. Got darkness, obviously. A little lighter. A little warmer and lighter. But since it's a 4-part thing, I think it's going to... it's going to be kind of cool because you're actually going to get to see the stars disappear here. This is the first time I've taken one at an hour where you can actually see the stars begin to disappear. And it looks like they're actually in focus, too. I kind of nailed focus on this. I mean, they're not super in focus, but it only gets so in focus with my little lens, So I think that's good. So we're going to go to... Oh, crap. What do we do next? What's the next step? Save metadata to files. No, we go to library here. And we're going to go... Metadata, save metadata to the files. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be part 1 of 3 of the sequence. So when we go back to LR Timelapse, reload with the new keyframes. If I'm doing this correctly, we're going to hit auto transition. You can see why this program costs so much money, though. It's extremely handy for stuff like this. And it's building a profile now. to transition each and every single frame in terms of what data it needs to put in. And now we're going to hit visual previews, which is going to begin to actually do it. So now it is finally doing the thing that it's supposed to do. Cool. Imagine that. And we'll be able to get a little bit of a preview over here and see exactly what it ends up looking like. It does look like there's still going to be some flicker in it. And that's really what you're trying to avoid with this, because if you do it manually, you end up with a weird transition where like it'll get lighter and darker and lighter and darker and stuff like that. And it looks flickery when you play it back at 30 FPS. So this sort of smooths that out theoretically, but it never seems to be perfect, which is why there's like refining tools and stuff like that, which we'll get into, but we'll be able to take a look at least at what the baseline looks like here. Yeah, it is a very handy tool, man. There are a lot of really cool tools when it comes to photography and videography and stuff like that. Plugins for Premiere and plugins for Lightroom, plugins for Photoshop that are amazing, that make your life so much simpler, but they don't come cheap because, you know, it's a service industry. It is a service industry. So it's, something that people pay money for, you know? I'm going to duck down below the desk here. Just ignore me. Don't worry about what I'm doing. It's unimportant. It's very unimportant. Don't even stress yourself. This is part of what takes so long. We're 27% of the way there. So Scooby, how's your day going? I'm guessing it's a good time to talk. Mini chair stream, right? You get just like the slightest. Building 35. $37. It is warm in here, man. It gets so warm in this damn room. It just faces the sun all day. So even in the winter, it cooks in here. Oh, do we have any sort of a preview? Yeah, that flicker. I'll just cut that bit out in production. Dude, that brightens up and then like does nothing. We're gonna see how this goes. Doing a little homework. What time is that? Are you East Coast? You're East Coast, aren't you? So for you, the day is almost over. At least in terms of school and stuff like that. There's some banging music, by the way. Absolutely banging music. Oh, I think it's going to still be a little flickery. I mean, look at how it's building out right now with that huge drop in it. That's not looking promising to me. Wait, where did it put its keyframes? No, I put the keyframe at the end. So it should flatten that out a fair amount. But see, this is what I was afraid of. I'm like, I might have to do keyframes specific, like in specific spots, but that's like what this program's supposed to avoid. So ideally, I would do a series of 400 images. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do it next time. I'm gonna do a series of 400 images in which I adjust the exposure. But see, that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. I was going to do a series of 400 images where I adjust the exposure incrementally, but the problem is I want to keep a constant. So this is the problem with shooting a night to day or a day to night time lapse. You find yourself in a situation where at night you need longer exposures in most cases, especially if you're only, I have a f3.5 lens, so it's not a very fast lens as they would call it, which means it doesn't let a lot of light in. And as a result, this lens needs longer shutter speeds when taking pictures at night. So I was starting this at a 6-second shutter speed. With a 6-second shutter speed, each picture is like this length of time. You know, it's 6 seconds. But as the pictures go on, and the shutter speed increases as the sun comes up, you end up in a situation where each individual frame is a quicker frame. So what ends up happening with your time lapse is it starts out like smooth and creamy and the clouds are like flowing across the landscape. But then as the shutter speed increases, it begins taking pictures at faster, well, not faster intervals, but shorter time spans. So the clouds start appear to be like everything in the frame begins to appear to move faster. And so a good time lapse will be taken at a consistent shutter speed all the way through it, which will keep that even. But you really can't do that when you're doing night to day, because if you have a 6-second shutter speed and the sun comes up, then you're in a situation where the sun is just going to completely overwhelm everything else in the image, and the whole picture is going to be white. So what you have to do is you have to find some way to manually adjust the exposure while the pictures are being taken. So you can, I guess, the basicest way is to stand there and just hit the shutter button on a timer every 6 seconds or whatever your intervals are going to be throughout the, for a couple hours, and do that, which obviously nobody wants to do. So no, you're probably not going to do that, but you generally can get away with doing stepped increases. So you set it to take a certain number of pictures and you just kind of watch the exposure values on the camera. And as it begins to get more overexposed, see, and that was the problem I ran into. This is an issue I ran into. So I need to remember to address this. And today's as good a time as any to talk to myself about it. So, the exposure meter wasn't telling me that the exposure was changing. It just said 0, or like at all times, because it was auto adjusting, I guess. And I don't know if I set it to auto white balance or auto ISO. It looks like I had the ISO at 100 and 160 on the second one. Oh, it was 6400 on the first one, 100 on this one, and 160 on this one. So what did I do for these pictures? That's at f10, f3.5. I think this is the section where I did program mode. So what it did was it would adjust the f-stop value and keep the shutter speed constant. So I tried like 4 different techniques in the middle of this. And so this time lapse probably isn't going to come out too great as a result. But I'm not using Holy Grail. Well, that's ideally how it works. I mean, you do stepped exposure increases. That's what the Holy Grail method is, I believe, anyway. I mean, that's how everybody's described it to me. And as a result, you end up with like spikes like that. So we're going to do the visual deflicker now. And we're going to try to like smooth this way out. See how it goes up and then down though? We don't want that. But let's go ahead and try to smooth this out right now. We don't want it to get brighter and then darker. I want it to just generally gradually increase. All these photos are You know, this is what I'm here for though today, man, because you can do I want to show people this. You can do a lot of this stuff with your phone. You can do, like, I don't think you can do time lapses and stuff. I mean, if you get a program for it, if you download an app, you can do time lapses. But you can control, at least on my phone, I can control the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO, and the focus, and the zoom, and all those settings manually. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass on a cell phone, but you can. And if you get just like a Gorilla tripod and set your phone up out in your backyard or something, you can make some really cool shit. And I want to show people how to do that stuff. So if you're ever feeling ballsy and you want to take your phone out back and just make something to make something. I mean, that's a lot of what I'm doing here is I'm making stuff so I can learn how to make stuff better. So that in the future, if anybody asks me to do this sort of thing, I'll have the capabilities in my tool bag, you know, and that benefits me as a photographer, but also it's just cool stuff to do. I enjoy doing stuff like this. So if you enjoy doing stuff like this, or if you ever were interested in stuff like this, I'm always happy to help people learn, man. With the ends of the wizard line? Wait, is that what I'm doing wrong this whole time? Aren't you supposed to use the wizard and then match the yellow line with the ends of the wizard line? Which is the wizard line? Have you used this before, Cosmic? I mean, it'd be cool if somebody in here could, like, teach me, because I would be happy to learn something new any day. Oh my God, they finally brought back the content creator program for Rocket League. It only took, what, 2 months? It's finally back. Yeah, I honestly don't know, man. Honestly don't know. This is I think encapsulating, unless I just glazed over a part of the video, because I watched the guy who created the program do a demo on YouTube. Because I didn't use it this time. Well, once you re-import the keyframes and then hit the auto transition button, it automatically inputs the exposure values here in this list, and you can see it creates like an even transition all the way through. And then when you hit visual previews, it builds a frame of each one of these frames. Oh, am I supposed to go back here? Equalize steps in... I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if this comes out terrible, then we'll run this again and try it again. Dude, creator code Lemon Pops went. I think it's already taken, honestly. Let me... Shit. I clicked the wrong button here. Let me see. Creator. Whoa. Code. Rocket League. Let's crash their system. Support a creator. Wait. Apply now. Okay. You must set up at least... No, I know what it is. Check the box. Complete the steps above. I gotta set up 2FA. Okay, well, I'll probably do that after we finish this. So, probably tonight, Scooby. So I missed a step, basically. Because, yeah, this obviously didn't fix it. Yeah, it obviously didn't completely fix it. Okay. So I need to do the Holy Grail Wizard. So we should start this over. Or if I go to the Holy Grail Wizard. Am I supposed to like grab the points or? Yeah, I did the Holy Grail method. So yeah. Yeah. Try it first. Well, I mean, dude, look at that jump in the bottom. Okay, so if I did that and then saved it, and then, I don't know, if we drag this back to Lightroom, it's going to say, you've already imported this stuff, and I'm going to say done. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go metadata, and I'm going to go read from files. Yeah. And then hopefully you did all the thing. Wow, that's pretty dark. Okay. So if I bring that down, and we bring this down, we drop those highlights a little bit so it's not completely attacking us from above. We raise the whites just a touch. We bring the blues down a little bit. And then we go to this one. Dude, this first one's just black. Just dark as everybody's soul. Let's maybe bring the exposure up on this one to like that. And then it drops hard for the next one. These two look identical now. These two are identical. Wait, what is going on? Dude, I think we got to start it off over. If the scripting is lossless or if it's stacked. How would I match the ends though? What do you mean? Like, okay. Yeah, because I mean, if it just won't match at all, like that one starts out way up there. Now if I stretch it like this and then rotate it, it just puts it all above. But it mostly does. Well, if we play it, this is what it looks like right now. You can see it flickers. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Yeah. So what we're doing, end of the orange line needs to intersect the yellow. So about like that. Okay, so let's start this over then. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. We can start over. Now that we've got it, we've done it twice. Third time's charm. This is normal. Let me find the folder though. And that was in, not in 2020. It was in fall. Where's my fall 2020 folder? Oh, no, it's not in there. It's just called part 1. And we're going to remove part 1. Okay. We're going to go back in here. God, my computer is running like trash right now. It is having such a hard time with this. Just choking. I don't know how OBS is using 86% of my freaking CPU. That makes 0 sense to me. Absolutely none. What else can I close here? Media request. You get shut off. Brio. No, that's my webcam. Whoops. It's got to be because I'm doing display capture. That's just got to be it. Okay. Then, yeah, we'll do this again. We're going to go into Fall, Mary's Peak, Timelapse, Part 1. We're going to delete all the XMP files again. Dude, slobs used to kill my computer. So if slobs has somehow surpassed OBS, I don't even understand how that would be possible, honestly. Because first of all slobs is OBS plus more stuff. So if OBS couldn't do it, why would slobs be any better? Slobs. Plus it's slobs, you know? It's got a name like slobs. Just disgusting. It's a disgusting name. Okay. LR Timelapse. Well, yeah, I mean, OBS, Slobs is just Streamlabs OBS is just a modified version of OBS. It's OBS plus additional GUI, plus additional tabs, plus additional interfaces and you know, connections to websites and things like it's OBS plus stuff. So I can't imagine how it would be any better, you know? Not to say it's not, I mean, but the core program should be the same. Like the core, I don't think with Streamlabs OBS, they rewrite any of the core functionality of the program. True. Has been optimized for streaming. And I am streaming right now. So that's the truth. Okay. So starting this fresh, round 3. I don't know how much of a delay you're on, because you're answering things like a while after. Viewers may experience buffering. Fuck you, internet. Why are you doing me like this? The GitHub for... I gotcha. It's like 20% more efficient. Well, it's cool that they've surpassed regular OBS. That... Okay. Keyframes wizard. We're gonna just do 7, I guess. And then, so we want this to match on the yellow line, which I believe it is right there. Stretch doesn't seem to do... I can't tell exactly where it starts. You know what I mean? Because it's like one flat line there. I can't tell exactly where in the... I think it starts here though. So we would need to like stretch it so those are even. But now they're all below that yellow line. So I'm not sure how to get it balanced properly. The original point for Streamlabs OBS was that it was more... Yeah, see, I used it for like a year and a half, and then it started bugging out on me, and I couldn't stream at all. It was using like 80% of my GPU, so I was having a bunch of buffering issues like this on stream for weeks, and then I stopped using it because it wasn't working. I went back to OBS, and I've used OBS ever since. Yeah, so I didn't know. It's cool that they fixed it since then. I guess I'm going to have to do this with more keyframes. It's probably better to have more keyframes, but I think this is hopefully going to do what we're looking for. I think that, I mean, it can't be any worse than it was. That's one fact of this. It can't be any worse than it just was. So, yeah. Really can't be any worse than it just was. We're going to import these. And we're going to do keyframes. And I don't know if that changed anything, the adjusting the brightness thing, unless it added something in here to fix it. This is weird. Is that at 1 minute and 11 seconds? Because I think I did have one frame I took somewhere in the middle of this that was just like ridiculously long. I should just cut that damn frame out. I keep doing this again and again, and I keep leaving that frame in there. I'm actually frozen. All right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna scrap this. This obviously isn't working. I tried. I'm sorry, guys. I guess I'll have to figure out what's wrong here. That's so dumb. I mean, you can see right here, Lightroom Classic using virtually nothing. But yeah, I keep capping out at 100% GPU. 89.9% of a GTX 1080 Ti. And I don't know why it's running so many browser pages, but really, whatever that one is taking up like 8%. And then whatever the main program is just eating up all my RAM. I don't know why. Scenes, Twitch. I bet you if I did this, let's do window capture and turn off display capture. And we're plummeting. I think it's just the desktop capture that was really killing it. It's still using a fair amount, but it's not 100% capped anymore. You're still here? You still hear me? Okay, well, hopefully that will calm it down some, because now we're not, because anytime I hit 100%, obviously it's going to drop, which is going to be fairly often, I imagine. Yeah, as soon as I click a button, it just shoots it up. And if I minimize this, does that make it any better? Not really. No. Yeah, it's looking like a memory leak. This is what made me switch off OBS, or Streamlabs OBS, was it started doing this, and I was like, cool, bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Let's do effects. No, not effects. Transform. No, not transform. Lens corrections. Enable profile correction. For my 16 to 50. And we're going to open up all of them. Select all of them. Settings, all of them. Sync settings, all of them. Lens corrections, all of them. Oh. Yeah, this sort of thing happened before, but it hasn't updated or anything recently, so I can't imagine. I don't know. I just don't know. I honestly do not know. So this picture looks nice, and then this picture looks like crap. What's different here? This one's ISO 6400, 5 second. And that's a 0.5 second. And the ISO's at 6400. 0.5 second. 0.5. So wait. Filters. Let's look at the keyframes. What are you? You're a 6 second. You're a 6 second. You're a 6 second. I need to go look at how bright these get overall. Oh, I get it, Scooby. I appreciate you hanging out, man. Yeah, I might end up cutting this off at some point, but I appreciate you lurking till I do at least. There's so much RAM available. So this is going to be the end picture. Right here. Let's do view extra large icons. Show me the end picture. This one. because we want to do a smooth transition from literally this frame to ultimately this. You know, if it wants to load. There we go. So we're going to go from dark to this, which will be pretty daylighty. Okay. And I don't think that first frame's going to get used. I think those first couple frames are just going to get cut off anyway. So I might not even worry about adjusting those. Other than like as a starting point, maybe. Maybe bring the exposure down a little bit on it. So it starts a little bit darker at the beginning. And then adjust the darkness here. Those blues going. What is it that I'm missing? Dehaze? Yeah, it feels overly dehazed. So I think I'm gonna soften the image up a little bit here with a little bit of dehaze. And then we're going to bring the exposure down on this a little bit. Ideally, you'd want each picture to be like a picturesque picture, you know? You want it to be like its whole own thing. But I'm having a harder time trying to do that with all these keyframes. So we're going to go from nearly dark ground. It's going to fade in on the ground here. Is the white balance off? It seems almost a little too warm. Yeah, we'll bring that down. Let me bring the saturation down just a little bit too. And actually, I might bring the contrast down and the exposure down. And this one, we're definitely going to drop that down. We're definitely going to bring the contrast down. Definitely going to bring that up to get rid of that greenish tinge. Bring the shadows up just a little bit there. You know, I want to bring the shadows up on this one too. Just a touch. So it's starting to get lighter. Holy crap. A little bright there. Cut the highlights a little bit, so it's not blowing out the sky entirely. Again, that orangish color, it's just a little overpowering, so we're going to bring the blues down a little bit. But it's definitely getting lighter in the sky by this point. And this one, again, exposure down, highlights down, blues down, shadows up. Okay. This one again, exposure down. Dude, it really rocks though when you crush that exposure, I think. Contrast down just a touch. Shadows up a little bit more, so it's definitely lighting up. You definitely want to make sure it's lighting up in the foreground. And then here, we actually need to bring the exposure up a little bit, I think. Darker, lighter. Highlights down again. Shadows, bring those up. Dude, that ground looks green, if I've ever seen a green ground. Ooh, we might not want it as blue right now. So begin to begin warming that up. I don't know. Maybe it would look better. I just don't want it to look golden. I think with my last one, it ended up looking very golden. Like the earth was just made of orange. I don't know. but the color gradients here actually don't look too bad. So let's try this. I think this will be good. We're going to save the files. And reload. I don't know what's going to happen here. We're going to see what happens. Ah! So it's going to start out lighter and then get darker? Is that what I just saw? And I think I just missed an opportunity to readjust the Holy Grail Wizard. I think I needed to do that right there. So we're going to see what happens. I might need to go watch another tutorial on how this damn thing works, you know? Oh, that is a harsh check mark at the end of this. I really brightened it up in there. But I mean, I guess at some point, that's the thing I've noticed on a lot of sunrises that I've watched. It's dark, it's dark, it's dark, it's dark. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes, it rockets in brightness outside. Like it goes from the world being dark to the world being light in like 10 minutes, which in a time lapse would be like 10 seconds. So it should have a relatively fast transition there towards the middle in terms of brightness, but it shouldn't be drastic. It's looking like it's evening those frames out a lot though. That purple line's looking way better. So Cosmic, thank you for looking that up for me, man. I appreciate that. Lifesaver here. Absolute lifesaver. But now we wait again. Good times. Dude, I'm so blown out. I feel very blown out. Do that. That should help a little. Kind of. Not really. It didn't really help. I lied. I lied. Okay, so it's got much smoother chunks of weirdness in it. So that might be able to just be smoothed out with the visual deflicker quite a bit. But it at least creates a relatively smooth center line for it, unlike those drastic drops. But we haven't gotten to the bad part yet. I mean, the bad part was in here, I think, right here and here. So we'll see how it's going. Now I'm yellow. I believe that. I believe that to be true. I do believe that to be true. It be like that sometimes. Sometimes you're just yellow. They were all yellow. %. How long have we been at this now? How long have we been live over here? It doesn't even tell me. Stream settings. There's a stream analytics thing. Oh, wait. 9:05? No. 9. Yeah, it was just before. I was like almost 2 hours ago. Dude, we've already been at this for 2 hours. Are you serious? I gotcha. Yeah, see, in the tutorial I watched, they didn't say to do that, but they also weren't talking about a Holy Grail time lapse, and that, you know, clicks now. Now that we've talked about this, it makes sense to me why they didn't mention it. Because like I said, I watched the official video where he was like doing like a... It was kind of a sunset, but it wasn't like a day to night. So it wasn't the Holy Grail. Hour and a half? Yeah. This is what I was saying. Oh, look at that drop. Ouch. Ouch, ouch. That's pretty big. I think I needed to adjust the Holy Grail thing afterwards. Again? I guess? I need to go back and adjust it? There's some like weird transition stuff there. We'll see. I don't know. Oh yeah, there's the second one. I don't think there's a third coming. I don't know why it would do that. Why wouldn't it just smooth it out? You know? Just smooth it out. Oh my god, what is that? Did the keyframe not work? Like, what is going on back here? Might just be too harsh a transition. It might just be. I might have just killed it. I might have just absolutely murdered the possibilities of this working. I don't think I did. I honestly don't think I did though. Let's see. Let's try going like this. Okay. And like save that. Sure, why not? Yeah. Let's go to visual deflicker. I don't know that did anything. Let's just Why are you not? Oh, I gotta rebuild. No? Why can I not visual? Is it rebuilding? What is it doing? Oh, it is. I'm rebuilding the visual previews after adjusting the Holy Grail Wizard. Go me. Okay, so we're starting that over. And then we're gonna try to smooth it again. Down to that green line. Or did it start the smoothening? It might have started the smoothening there. Maybe that's why it's not letting me do anything, because maybe it just started doing the visual deflicker. Maybe I clicked something and it did it, you know? Because I see the green line there from the visual deflicker smoothening. So maybe it's doing that. You gotta take out the dog? All right, man. I appreciate you hanging out today. Oh. Why does it keep doing this right here? This little flickering purple line. Like, no, yeah, no, actually, yeah, right there. That's where we're gonna, no, actually, no, you know, right there, yeah, no, yeah, right there. Also, but no, we won't do that. We'll just, okay, now I think now's the time. There we go. We got it. And it's gonna, yeah, that's just gonna be those harsh steps again. But it might be a little, they actually do look a little bit smoother once I change the Holy Grail Wizard angle. If that's what it's doing. It might be doing the visual deflicker right now. And I might have just picked a low setting. So I guess I'm gonna find out here in a second when I do it again, because obviously this is unacceptable. Man, I wish this was a faster process so that I could just, you know, just hammer these out and know faster. We need supercomputers, man. This is the problem with modern society. There aren't enough supercomputers in use by average citizens. I just want my own private quantum computing cloud computer. Not even private. What am I even saying? I want access to a cloud computer where I can run infinite calculations at the speed of light. Thank you. That's what I would like. If you could, it's almost Christmas. So if we could make that happen before then, that'd be great. Thank you. Well, let's see what happens on this one. This might just be shot. We might just have to throw this one away. I'm going to be sad. It was supposed to be like the piece de resistance of the whole thing. Drove all the way out there to get this. It is looking smoother right now, but the end is where all the hard transitions are. But if that purple line is how it's going to build right now, if it's not going to deviate from that, then hope. No, it's, yeah, there's that. Yeah, right there. That's what I was afraid of. Dude, so why? Oh, why? Was it? This looks literally no better. Okay, I think what happened was I changed the Holy Grail Wizard, I saved it, and now it's rebuilding the visual previews based on that. So we haven't applied any visual deflicker yet. We've just done the auto transition, which maybe isn't enough, but these last few frames should build out fairly quickly here. So we're almost at the end. We're at 90%. That's going to drop. Yep. And we're going to try to even this out with the visual deflicker. I'm just going to smooth it as hard as I possibly can and hope that this is enough. What's a good word for this? What is the correct word? I don't know. I don't know what the correct word is for this. Ding. Okay. So, yeah, let's apply that. All right, now do that. Just follow that line. Follow that line. Just nice and smooth all the way along it. No hard drops. Nothing crazy. Gentle transition. It's looking pretty smooth so far. It's a little bumpy at the beginning. There's a little bump there. Can always smooth it again afterwards. Try it a third time. And yeah, this is why it takes so much work to do this, at least for me. Like, I don't know if there's a faster way to do it. If you're watching this in the future and you know a faster way to do this stuff, let me know. Because this is incredibly time consuming as a guess and check method. Only to find out later on that I may not have been doing it right at all. You know, yeah, depending on how long this video goes and if you're watching it in the future. I honestly don't know what's going to come out. It's looking like it's going to create some bumps there again. It's starting to arc down under the green line and then it's going to climb up. No, it's really, oh, there it is. There's the spike. Man. I think it's starting to build out those peaks. It definitely flattened it some, maybe. I was going to say that. I might have spoke too soon. I mean, those bumps look smaller, but that is not promising for how the tail end of this is going to look. I feel like what I might need to do is set the keyframes to those specific frames where I change the exposure settings. But even then, or even, what if I just did 2 keyframes? Like, I feel like 2 keyframes would be the smartest way to do it. Like, literally crush everything into line between point A and point B. I don't want any confusion on where it wants to go. I want you to go from dark to light. I shouldn't need to tell you, like, be less dark. Now be slightly less dark. All right, now be even slightly lesser darker. You know, like the future. Nientes. How's your day going, man? How's school? Are you surviving? I hope someday, like 5 years from now, I want to watch this video and be like, you dumb. Why did you do blah, blah, blah? Like someday in the future when I'm all experienced and knowledgeable about this stuff, I can look back and we can laugh about this together and be like, God, he was certainly something else when he started. Kulu, don't you ever tell me not to be dark. Okay, I'll be as dark as I wish to be. It was decent. So you're already done? It's like kindergarten. You get out noon. Kulu, how are you today, man? It's good to see you. Yeah, it's still putting those drops in, so we'll do another pass with the visual deflicker, and we'll see if it can smooth those out even further. But these huge chunky drops might just make it impossible. I don't know. The only other thing I can think to try is to just do 2 keyframes and tell it to crush everything into line, because I feel like it just should, you know, like what's the confusion? Why would you think that you should go to a certain point and then change your exposure back to like, well, the original exposure. Yeah. I mean, okay. If it's looking at it from the perspective of on the previous keyframe, we said plus 95. And on this one, we said plus 96. And on this one, we said plus 97. Then it's going to just add 97 to the new lower value, you know, and it's not going to actually do the smart thing and adjust it. So that's, I guess, what we're trying to rely on this program. Oh God, it's not getting out of there. Cold? It was cold all night, and then this room heated up to like 85 degrees as soon as I went live here. Man, that's too many periods for one day. Like one a month is it's like enough for most people. It's a funny joke. I'm a funny guy with my funny jokes. All right, let's roll it. It's brightening. It's a little flickery, but that's mostly okay. And then it gets slightly darker. Oh, and then it just drops. Oh, and then it drops again. Oh, and then it drops again. Oh. Can we refine? Like a lot? Like a lot? Can we refine a lot? Stockpiles on each other. That's what happens when you don't do your work, man. That is what happens. Unless you have been doing your work and you just had a lot of work to do. Which also makes your work pile up. Holy crap, this thing's getting dusty. I need to put like a sock over this when I'm not using it. What do you think? Sock covering. All right. %. We'll see. It's looking smoother. It's looking a lot smoother actually. But we're hitting that part. And it's not looking that much smoother through here. Not yet, anyway. Should put a sock over it. I just don't think it's gonna fix it, man. I just don't. What was this exposure 2012 thing? Web temp, contrast, highlight, shadows, dehaze, saturation. Okay. Does it do a bunch of different things? I mean, I definitely do want it to be doing exposure adjustment. So maybe I feel like the answer's got to lie in the Holy Grail Wizard. The way that's lined up just has to be right. I mean, it's got to be the entire answer to my problem here. I want it to counteract whatever current points it's doing at all these points. So I think if I hit Holy Grail Wizard right now, what will it do? All right, we want those points right there. We want it to match the yellow line, he said? Or do we want it to cancel out the red line? What if I don't stretch it? I can't tell where it meets, man. I really can't tell where it meets on the left. But I think maybe if we take it to there. You're gonna stream? All right, dude. Well, enjoy your stream. I will probably end since I think literally everybody is left. Oh no, we still got some people here, I guess. Yeah. This is, don't think it's gonna work for it. With all these chunks. What if we just crush it? What if we just like go... It doesn't seem to... If it was the red line, it would make more sense to me. It's got such a... Yeah, because this is counteracting the blue line, it looks like, mostly. And so we'd maybe want that like that. We'll see where that takes us. Build those visual previews, see what happens. Yeah, thanks, man. You take care. Enjoy your stream. Yeah, I gotta get on that creator code thing. The RL creator code out. Especially if this doesn't work. Gonna give this another minute here. It looks smooth. Maybe what I just did fixed it? Maybe? Maybe I shouldn't have been trying to match up the yellow line. I should have been making sure I did opposite of the blue line. But I trust that what Cosmic told me was true. I mean, apparently he watched some videos that I hadn't seen. So, yeah. This is looking actually pretty smooth up to this point, but I think it was. I think up until like the second keyframe or third keyframe, I think is when it started getting bumpy. So we'll see what it does right through this section. But man, this is certainly tedious and repetitive. I'm sorry that most of the stream has turned into this. But that does look smooth. That looks a lot smoother. That looks much, much smoother. Maybe if I visual deflicker this. Yeah, we'll see. I guess we got dogs loose in our backyard right now. I can hear people yelling at the dogs in the backyard. There's just random neighborhood dogs roaming through my property here. That's looking much smoother. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do, because this is taking forever, and I don't know if this is even gonna work. I do think I'm just gonna wrap this up. So I do appreciate everybody who came out for this, honestly, sincerely, honestly, really do. Yeah, we are. Oh, you know what? I'm not even showing you what I'm working on, dude, because I turned off display capture, so you can't even see what I'm talking about this whole time. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. This is why I'm the greatest ever at what I do. People are probably just like, what the heck is he doing? Yeah, so I've been waiting for this to smooth out this whole time. So that was probably even more boring because I still had window capture. You know, I'm probably just going to delete this video. We're just going to delete this video and pretend this never happened. So goodbye, everyone. It's been a pleasure. And nobody will ever see this.